Hey, Benjamin, there was an attempted coup last week.
There
Did you
was.
did you hear about it?
Yes.
Man, it takes a lot more than that to get rid of me. We, we got a lot to talk about. Let's get going.
Yep.
Hello and welcome to March 2, the pod presented by Eternal Roofing. They have roofing you can trust with your home, just like you trust us to talk about Bearkat sports. And today, we got a lot to talk about. This is Season 3, Episode 9, State of the Cats. We got QB questions, offensive woes, and an 0-3 start. I'm your host, producer, once banned but never muted, catfans.com member Cory Hogue. Find me on social media at Cory Hogue Sports. It's all one word, CORYHOGUE Sports. And don't forget to check out my Substack, CoryHogueSports.substack.com, where I cover Texas non-FBS football every week. And as always, I'm joined by the wizard behind at Sports of SHSU. It's all one word on Twitter and Instagram, COO of the Cat Fund, proud Bearkat himself, Ben Sorrells. And Ben, I think it's best to say that at least some Bearkats teams are winning these days.
Yeah, the women's sports had a pretty good showing this weekend. Cross country picked up a win at their home meet. Soccer went 1-1 on the weekend. A really good win at Grand Canyon. Volleyball went 2-1, including a win over the Purple School in Nacogdoches. So
we love those wins, right?
Yeah, it was a nice weekend on the women's side of sports.
Shout out, Rev. Take that, Jax.
Yeah, and first time we had beat them in Nacogdoches since 2021, I think. So this year's team looks to kind of be turning a corner after a rough couple of years.
That's nice. Hey, last week I was on the Rev's podcast, the Southland Sermon, which, by the way, is just greatly named and a terrific intro. But he asked me where to find it. I started mentioning this podcast. He started trying to yell, no, Rev. No, man.
Yeah, he's a fun guy though. He's a good dude.
Oh no, Dustin's great, man. He's one of the best people. That's why I can do that. We get along so well.
Y'all's personalities together would be an interesting listen. Just knowing the two of you.
We are dangerous together.
And they let you at Southland Media Day a couple of years ago, didn't they?
We were in the same room.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing that we were busy on actual media days because, man, that could get it. You get both of us and a little bit of alcohol, and, man, who knows what's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about something here, some people here that don't use the alcohol and then do a great job, and that's our friends over at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing and General Contracting is your choice for integrity work in the Texas Hill Country. Taylor Andrus and crew provide experienced quality roofing services with a mission of roofing with faith, serving with integrity, and sheltering homes in the spirit of stewardship. Don't just take our word for it. Here's what satisfied customer Pamela Allen had to say about Eternal Roofing. They did a great job on our patio roof, came out quick for a quote. The quote was very reasonable, and they started and finished work well and quickly. Not a bad thing to say about Eternal Roofing. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email them taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
Boy, I am on one today, but we got a lot to get to.
You've had a lot of transitions. That was one of them.
Whew, let me tell you, we got a lot to get to in a short amount of time to do it. This is going to be over by 4:45, so not too much time for my shenanigans today. But we got to review this Hawai'i game, and it started with late. First off, 11
oh my gosh!
I stayed up to almost the end. I turned it off with like a minute left, so I saw that final touchdown too. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, good on you.
Hawaii got on the board first. 8-play, 78-yard drive ended with a 1-yard touchdown pass. Take a 7-0 lead. The Cats responded. RJ Lopez, 28-yard field goal, pulled Sam Houston within 7-3. That's how it was at the end of the first quarter. And then with 5:25 remaining in the first half, Hawaii added to their lead with this 41-yard interception return for a touchdown.
Closing in on 6 minutes to play in this first half. Metoyer going to throw over the middle. It is broken up. Intercepted by Giovanni Iovino. And he is looking to forge a return. And he is going to take it to the house. Giovanni Iovino.
You know, Ben, it's pretty telling. After that play, I saw some people on Sam Houston Twitterverse out there talking about how Mabry Metoyer had more interceptions
To the other team.
for pick sixes than he did touchdown passes. That's it's two games we've seen him play a lot, and that's why we've seen some horrible decisions.
And I think I said this during the season preview of the quarterback position. I think Mabry's going to be a good quarterback. He's young. He's got the deer in the headlights look. He does not have experience. He doesn't have even enough practice reps at the college level. He's been in college for pretty much exactly a year and a summer semester. I think he's got what it takes. It's just not there yet. And so I think you're seeing a little bit of that. It's the deer in the headlights, some bad decisions. I think he's got the arm talent. He can move a little bit. But obviously there's a lot of refining in his game to do, and it's shown in those 2 pick sixes that he's thrown so far.
It's interesting you say that. We'll bring that back up when we listen to some of Longo's post-game thoughts a little bit later. RJ Lopez hit a 29-yard field goal. Hey, look, we're kicking 29-yard field goals. That, for a team with no wins, I love the aggressiveness, Ben. Let's get in the red zone and kick a field goal. 14-6 with 1:57 left in the half, and it gave Hawai'i plenty of time to drive back down the field and get a 38-yard field goal as time expired, and the Rainbow Warriors held a 17-6 lead at the break. And at that time, I just don't think anyone really had a whole lot of confidence in the Cats for the second half.
Yeah, offense just and the defense was actually okay at times. I mean, they weren't terrible. The Hawai'i scored 40 points total during the night, but 7 of those were on a pick six. So the defense showed a little bit of progress, but the way the offense was playing, 11-point deficit, it was going to be hard to come back from it at that point.
We will talk about that here in the next segment, some of those things. Is it the offense? Is it the defense? Is it coaching? I don't know.
Everything in between, who knows?
It could be all that together. We definitely have some things to talk about when it comes to that. But we got good news here. The Cats got within 1 score. They got within a touchdown. And it's because of this man, Iman Allen. You talk about a player. Iman Allen has put up multiple fantastic performances, and he had a nice little 66-yard pick six that brought the Cats within a touchdown.
Weaver with some time. And that's picked off. And this is going to be returned. And it may get returned all the way. It will be a pick six. Touchdown. Iman Allen.
That man is fast.
Yeah, and him and Jamar Diaz have been the 2 standouts on defense so far this year. And I was actually talking with last year's staff a little bit about Iman this week, and he's just taken a big jump. Last year there were just consistency and some effort questions at times, and he's really developed this year. So kudos to him, or kudos to the staff for bringing that out of him. So he's really shined, and he's become one of the better players on this team, and especially on the defense.
Yeah, and hey, look, we had a battle of backup quarterbacks coming into this game because Hunter Watson was out with injury, which we get to talk about that as well. And Weaver and Hawai'i responded on their next possession. A 9-play, 76-yard drive ended in a 6-yard touchdown pass to extend their lead. And then Mabry Metoyer got destroyed. I could not find – it was hard to find a lot of videos from that game. It wasn't as easy to clip, and you could only really watch it on I watched it on my iPad. But he got destroyed. I thought that was just a vicious hit. And so Landon Locke came into the game, and hey, he had a 21-yard touchdown pass to Elijah Green.
Him just from studying some of what he's done and been a part of in his playing and coaching career. And look at Green all the way across the goal line. The ball comes loose, but after the fact.
Okay, so Landon Locke gets a touchdown pass on that for flipping the ball forward. But let's be honest here. Elijah Green, that was a heck of a run after he caught that ball.
And it was the second consecutive play that they did the shovel pass. Same exact thing. I thought it was interesting. But, yeah, Landon Locke, and we'll get into him a little bit more. I thought the 2 or 3 drives he was in there, obviously they kind of dumbed it down and made it a little simple for him. But for a guy that didn't play a senior year of high school due to injury, and you get thrown into action as a true freshman in college, I thought he looked okay. I mean, and it's an encouraging, it might have been the most encouraging thing from this game is maybe you've got something down the road in Landon Locke.
Maybe so. Do we play him and get ready for the future? Again, things we've got to talk about today. But that touchdown pulled Sam Houston within 7 points, 27-20, with 8:15 left in regulation. That's as close as they would get. The Rainbow Warriors added a 19-yard field goal and a 15-yard touchdown pass with 1:47 left to give Hawai'i a 37-20 victory. And that last touchdown pass came after, I think it was a questionable timeout. Was it fourth down play?
I think so. Yes, because we declined the penalty, and there was a timeout on the field. Yeah, and then they went for it and got it.
What did you think of that? Like, did it seem to me like they weren't necessarily going to do that until the timeout was called? It was almost like, okay, if you want us to put a dagger in, we'll go ahead and do it.
Yeah, you were down 10 at the time, and it's either 3rd and 5th or 3rd and 17 or 4th and 2, something along those lines, because it was a 10 or 15-yard penalty. And I guess you take the penalty, assuming they're still going to kick the field goal, and then you can get the ball back down 13. But 4th and 2, Hawaii just took a shot, scored, and like you said, that was the dagger. But it was a very interesting coaching decision. I don't know what you do there. I don't know if there's a right or a wrong decision, but it was certainly interesting.
You know what? If you're a team like Hawai'i and Sam Houston, for that matter, that right now need that kind of positive momentum, it's a statement. They made a statement. It was a minute 47 left. They had a 10-point lead. Kick it, make it. Here's the question. Does 13 matter or does 17 say game over? Right?
Right.
That's really what it came down to.
Yeah.
Either way, it's the third consecutive 17-point loss suffered by the Cats to open the season. And Benjamin, they've only played 3 games.
And if they keep it going against Texas, I'll say we're moving in the right direction.
I think it's safe to say they're going to get beat by a lot more than maybe multiples of 17 in a couple of weeks when they go play Texas, because that's just a whole different level team, right?
Yeah.
That just is. All right, well, let's get to what head coach Phil Longo thought after the game. This one here's a minute long, his initial thoughts.
You know, I'm obviously disappointed right now. I think that's another game probably with better execution. We give ourselves an opportunity to compete for a win in the fourth quarter. It's what we keep talking about. I was very happy with the way the defense responded. I thought they did a good job. A little bit of bend but don't break tonight. I also thought we improved third down. We got off the field. Offensively, another slow start. This is 2 weeks in a row, I think. After the first drive of last week, I think we went into a little bit of a lull, and we started a new quarterback this week, and so Mabry got off to a slow start. The offense got off to a slow start, and what happens there is it just puts your defense on the field entirely too much early on, and that's not the recipe for success here. So we've got to find a way to get the offense going earlier in the game and do a better job of playing complementary football.
Putting your defense on the field too long is like repetitious for the first 3 games, because this offense can't convert crap on third down.
Yeah, and I mentioned it as a possible problem before the season. Like, if this team can't sustain drives, or if they're a good offense but they're moving too quickly, it's going to hurt the defense. So, yeah, it's definitely an issue.
They're not winning time of possession, and they're not converting third downs and keeping drives alive. It's a bad combination. It puts a lot of stress on the defense. But, listen, I thought the defense played better. I thought they got a little more pressure in this game.
They did, yeah. And obviously, we're not going to call it a good defense, a great defense. I don't even know if it's an okay defense right now, but you've seen steps in the right direction, and you've seen a couple guys emerge. We talked about Iman Allen. I think Jamire Diaz has turned into a pretty elite edge rusher, and he's graded out as a top 5 edge rusher on PFF the last 2 weeks. So I think they're starting to move in the right direction, but it's almost the offense that's becoming even more of a concern, because you've had 17 of your points so far this season come off of points by the defense or turnovers on special teams. So, yeah, the offense is a legitimate concern right now.
Here's what Phil Longo said after the game about the defense.
Well, we did make some plays, and we've always felt we went into the season just based on some of the production and practice. We felt like we had an athletic playmaking secondary. And, we need to generate a little bit more of a pass rush on the quarterback. We did that tonight. That was a little bit of an issue in games 1 and 2. We were able to do that tonight, and I think it gave our secondary and those guys an opportunity to close some space and make some plays on the football. And, obviously one of them resulted in the pick 6.
Hey, your defense is producing some offense right now. It's producing points.
It is. Yeah, they did it against Western Kentucky, scoop and score, had the pick 6. And they forced a turnover in all 3 games. I mean, you're giving up points, but you're also getting more opportunities for the offense, and the offense just isn't converting. So if the offense can find a way to click, maybe you have a shot in these games, but it just doesn't look like it is right now.
Here in the next segment, we're going to kind of dive in a little more into the offense and defense and what's happening. Listen, you mentioned he mentioned complimentary football. That's not happening right now for Sam Houston, and it's hurting the entire team. The results, the numbers, everything shows that it's not complimentary football, and that's not a good thing when you're going in to play one of the best teams in the entire country in 2 weeks.
Yeah, big goal really there is just to come out healthy, I think. I don't think...
That's what you got to do, right?
Right. I don't think there's any way barring a miracle, you put anything on tape that's going to be really good or make you feel like you're moving in the right direction. Like even last year's team against a very average Big 12 UCF team looked horrible. So, the big thing is just to come out healthy next week.
Last year's 10-win team is probably 35 point. Texas, the Longhorns, probably 30. This Longhorns team is probably 28 to 35 points better than last year's 10-win team, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 45-14 was the score at UCF last year, 31 points. So, like you said, probably 35-ish against this year's Texas team. Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. We knew that coming in. Get the paycheck, get out healthy. That's what it's all about.
That is what that one's all about. Here's what Longo had to say about Mabry Metoyer.
You know what? I mean, he's such a competitor, and he prepares well. And both games, he got off to a little bit of a slow start. Sometimes you don't see that in the stands, but it's about the decision-making piece of it. And also both games, and tonight he settled in a little quicker than he did last week because he had the repetitive drives. And I thought did a better job than last week overall. Haven't graded him, obviously, and there were some things that we left out there that you want out of your quarterback, and that's Mabry, Hunter, Landon. It doesn't matter, and so that falls back on me because I'm coaching those guys, and so this is an emphasis for us offensively is continuity, some consistency, and we're going to have to look at what we're doing preparation-wise during the week so that we can get off to a faster start next game.
Benjamin, one of my favorite things for a coach of any sport to say is that it's not always obvious in the stands. First off, duh. You know more about it than we do because it's your team, your philosophy, your schemes, yada, yada, yada. But I promise you, everyone in the stands can see that the quarterback is struggling.
Right. And partly, like I said before, it's the experience. It's the deer in the headlights look. He just has not had a lot of reps at this level. But this offensive line has not really given him much of a chance either, which does not help. And you got James Don back. It didn't really make a huge difference. It was very similar play to the first 2 weeks. So I think obviously Mabry probably isn't ready, but he's also not getting dealt a great hand. Also, the wide receivers, and Longo mentioned this in his press conference last week, they just continue to struggle to get separation from people, so they're having to create opportunities for tight ends and running backs to get the ball, and it's not helping the quarterback a lot. So, yeah, it's just a combination of things. He didn't look great, but, and that's part of why, and we'll get into it a little later in the next segment, but Hunter Watson, when healthy, kind of has to be your guy because he can kind of get around those offensive lineman mistakes and maneuver around and make plays happen.
I agree with that. But am I off base to say that it feels a little bit like Mabry and Metoyer's getting pushed into this because he is Longo's guy?
I think against UNLV, that was absolutely a part of it. This week, maybe not as much, but yeah, I think that's definitely been a factor overall this season in the quarterback room. Maybe not as much this week, which we'll talk about, but I think it's definitely a factor overall in the quarterback room.
I agree. And if you're enjoying the show, you can help us grow. And you do that by rating and reviewing March to the Pod on your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on Podbean at marchtothepod.podbean.com. It's March, the number 2, thepod.podbean.com. And you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at March to the Pod, all one word, March, the number 2, the Pod. And also, unfortunately, we're proud to be part of the Conference USA Podcast Roundtable. As unfortunate as it is, but they have shows covering I told you I was on one today. All 12. My allergies are acting up. Like, we got ragweed problems going on here. You probably do all over the place right now. But still, I got a little bit of passion to me today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
No. Oh.
What were you going to say?
It's good to be passionate sometimes. I know we were very passionate I know you were very passionate on social media last week despite an attempted coup, but we remain on the round table.
Come at me all you want. Just come at me with facts. That's all I say. I get you're unhappy about it. I'm unhappy about it.
You made an ally, though.
I did.
With Fobbs.
Yeah. Oh, look, Fobbs understand. And he's not the only one. Like, there's quite a few. The people who support you don't always tend to come on social media and want to reach out because, you get some hit back. But the fact of the matter is, if I'm saying something that's way off base, I need to know about it. And I just don't feel I was off base with that last week.
No, I think it was fair.
Brutal. It was brutal. I'm an asshole. But it was fair.
Yeah.
That's all we can ask for, right?
Yep. And we'll see if things change. If they do, we'll be the first to celebrate it, and we hope it does.
Yeah, look, I want them to win. I want Longo to win. I want the team to win. It's just hard as heck right now when you see what's happening to the university at a top level all the way down through the athletic department, and I felt it needed to be called out. We're not doing that again. That's not an all-the-time thing.
We're talking ball today. That's all we've done so far.
We're talking ball. And you know what else we're talking? Eternal Roofing. Let's hear some more about our friends over there.
Eternal Roofing only uses the finest materials in the roofing business while providing an exceptional warranty. Why do they use CertainTeed products? Because they complement any appearance, provide exceptional and reliable strength, and are known for their enduring performance. Here's what Shane Sosa had to say about Eternal Roofing. Taylor and his team are amongst the highest level of professionals. They care about their customers and go above and beyond just doing the job. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539 or email Taylor at eternalroofingtx.com.
Okay, so last week, this was Hunter Watson before the game. He was out, unavailable, due to an injury. We're guessing. Nobody really knew quite at the time. Then Mabry Metoyer's helmet got knocked off, and he had to go probably get evaluated for a concussion, I would imagine. And that brought in Landon Locke. And so while Landon Locke is in the game, Hunter Watson's getting, wait a minute, he's unavailable, and now he's dressed. Oh, he's dressed, and right by the head coach, Benjamin. What in the world? If Hunter is unavailable, what the hell is he doing being dressing out when Metoyer got hurt?
Yeah, so we had no idea who was going to start coming into this week, and we assumed both quarterbacks were healthy. And I had some people in Hawaii, boots on the ground there, like I mentioned on social media, and they're texting me 45 minutes or so before the game, Metoyer's getting all the first team reps, and I put that out. And then probably 10, 15 minutes later on the radio feed with Carlos, he says Hunter's unavailable. And that came as news to me. I did not know why, didn't want to speculate why, whatever it was. I eventually got a call from someone a day or two ago saying that Hunter injured his throwing shoulder against UNLV. It's a grade 2, possibly a grade 3 shoulder sprain. They even gave him an injection for it. Just couldn't work through it or throw the ball effectively enough. So that's why he wasn't in there to start with. Now, why did he suit up? Landon Locke was the only guy left on the roster to play quarterback. And Hunter Watson, I guess, could hand the ball off, maybe run it a little bit, maybe do some shovel passes or something. I guess they wanted to have him dressed as an emergency quarterback, but if he truly couldn't have gone, there's no reason why you couldn't have just... And Landon Locke gets hurt. I mean, at that point in the game, there's one possession left, maybe just go Wildcat. You know, I didn't really see a need to dress him, in my opinion, but that's my understanding of the situation, how it played out, and kind of my thoughts on it.
To me, it's almost a malpractice that they ask him to get dressed. He's got a shoulder sprain. He's not eligible to play, not available to play. That's just what it is. And you've got your backup in there. Landon Locke is in there. You know what they knew. They had to have known that he was out going into that game, right? Like, you've got to have someone. And if all he's going to do is hand off the ball, you're going 10 against 11. If you've got what you mentioned, Wildcat, you put a running back there, snap him the ball, get him a couple blockers, whichever way we're going, we're just going to run power. At least you're going 11 on 11.
Right. Yeah, if it gets to that point, yeah.
Yeah, well, you hope it doesn't. But when the only healthy quarterback left is in the game, you do got to plan for those things.
Right.
And you got to plan for that going into the game, Benjamin.
Yeah, especially if you've only got 2 and you traveled 3, only 2 are healthy. I mean, there's a lot of games where 2 quarterbacks get hurt. I mean, that stuff happens in football at every level, and it's interesting that they didn't travel a 4th quarterback. You've got 5 on the roster. DJ Bailey's your 4th. I think DJ Bailey's a capable 3rd quarterback at this level, maybe 1st or 2nd string, I don't know, but 3rd string, absolutely capable. So I don't know why, if you knew Hunter wasn't going to play, that you don't try to at least travel your 4th string quarterback. So it's a very weird situation.
Why is Hunter even on the travel roster for that game?
Yeah, I've heard that question too. Some of these signature games, like when we played A&M a couple years ago, all 105 or 110 players traveled. When you get paid for these games, sometimes the entire team will travel. Obviously, the entire team didn't travel, so why Hunter traveled, I'm not too sure. Maybe he was on the list the week before and he was just going to make the trip anyway. So it's a legitimate question. I have seen the whole team travel before. Like I said, that didn't happen. I don't know why he did. Maybe they thought he could have toughed it out at the last minute. But yeah, it's an interesting question.
You mentioned about the team. I want to ask this question because I want to kind of put Hawaii to bed here, and then we kind of move into bye week stuff. So let me ask this Hawaii question here. Why did the team stay in Hawaii until Monday? Was that planned?
It was. So they had the bye week, and I think it was just to spend some time as a team out there. You had 2 weeks. I'm assuming everybody's classes are online, most likely during this semester. That's how a lot of teams do it. So obviously you got there early to acclimate to the time change, and then I think they stayed the extra day and a half just to spend some time as a team. That was kind of my understanding with it.
Your program is hurting for money. the whole athletics department is hurting for money. We've been over this time and again. I think that money, and listen, that's not an insignificant chunk of money to stay on the island for another day and a half or so. Maybe could have been put to better use.
Possibly, and that's not even a coaching thing.
No, I'm not blaming the coach.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah. So it's a good point. I know every other game, the team flies back that night. They get home at 4 a.m, whatever it is. Obviously, that's not really a possibility with Hawaii, but you could have left the next day. I don't know. I see both sides to it. I think it could be a good thing for the team to spend some more time around each other in a cool environment, especially with so many new guys. But you also have to look at it from a budget perspective. So I see it both ways.
Yeah, it's the budget thing that I think screams at me when I heard that there, and not. Look, you want a day and a half vacation? Well, it's fine, right? And I get they were putting in football work and all. I get it. I'm not against it. It seems a little tone deaf at this moment in the athletics department.
Something to consider. Yeah,
it is. It is. All right. The Longhorns in 2 weeks. Who in the hell starts at quarterback?
Well, your top two are extremely questionable. If you could, Hunter's a warrior, and if he couldn't get through his shoulder sprain even with an injection, who knows what it looks like in 2 weeks. And the team hasn't done a lot. Obviously, the past 2 days they got back late last night from Hawaii, so it's hard to know where his status is. It's hard to know what Mabry's status is, but you got to. It looked like a pretty good concussion, which is 2 weeks typically. So he's up in the air. If I was a betting man, it's probably Landon Locke right now. He's the one that's healthy. So we'll see what happens. Does DJ Bailey dress? That's another interesting thing. We'll see if we get any clarity next week at the press conference or if I hear anything on my end. But right now, Landon Locke's your only guy that's healthy.
He's considered the future, in my opinion. Am I wrong to say that?
I think Mabry's the future, but Landon's got another year, possibly 2 more years than Mabry if he redshirts. So I think if you're looking 3 to 4 years, Landon's the future. If you're looking 2 years, it's probably Mabry, but Landon is definitely a big part of it. He's a guy that followed Longo. His brother was the starting quarterback for Longo at Wisconsin last year. So he's definitely considered part of the future, probably 2, 3, 4 years down the road.
So would there be some benefits to just having – he's allowed to play, 4 games?
4, yeah.
So is there benefits to having him start in Texas? Listen, that's a DKR. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for anybody. But that could be an experience that could help him down the road. Should that be any of the thought process?
I think so, and you've got 2 quarterbacks already banged up. You don't want to put them in harm's way anymore, especially when you've got the more winnable part of your schedule coming up. So I wouldn't be opposed to it. Obviously, he's going to get thrown into the fire. It's probably not going to be pretty, but it's going to be a good experience for him if he ends up being a guy down the road.
Okay, so we're 3 games into this season. The Cats are 0-3. I think we kind of expected that, right? Maybe a Hawaii win, but maybe. But let me ask it this way. If Casey Keeler was the head coach of Sam Houston this year, not throwing out first pitches and getting his pitcher taken with the darn Philly fanatic up there, and getting called a high school team by Oklahoma reporters. Brilliant idea, by the way, Boomer Sooner.
Yep.
If he was the coach, do you think that they're any better than 0-3 right now?
If he's the coach with this roster, not a roster
yes.
that he I think there's a chance they're 1-2. I think it's probably 50-50 with the Hawaii game. I couldn't go more. They wouldn't be above 1-2.
No.
So
maybe they don't get beat by 17 in each game. Maybe it's 14, right? Like it's.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's possibly a win there. It's probably Hawaii, but even that game is 50-50. So you probably lean towards 0-3, but it wouldn't be anything more than 1-2. And last year's team with this schedule is a 6 or 7 win team.
Yes.
This schedule is a different beast with the way it's set up with the travel, the teams that are on it. Last year's team won 9 games in the regular season. They probably win 6 or 7 with this schedule.
Yeah. Listen, you cannot judge Longo strictly by this full season because of the schedule. But there are some things that I think we can judge him by. And statistically speaking, this offense is horrendous. They are averaging – now, they're doing well on the ground, right? But per game, they're averaging 321 yards per game. But here's where it gets bad. They have 5 of 37 on third down, 13.5%.
Yeah, they were 12% coming into Hawai'i, so they're moving in the right direction.
And they're 3 of 10 on fourth down.
Yeah. And a big product of that is what they're doing on first and second down and taking sacks in the offensive line play. It all runs together.
They're 4 of 8 on red zones on scores. They've gotten into the red zone 8 times. They've only scored 4 times, and only twice have they got a touchdown.
When they missed 2 35-ish yard field goals against UNLV, that's a big part of it. It played a big role in that UNLV game.
But then here's the problem, and look, Longo mentioned it. He said the defense is on the field too much. Well, that is true because time of game, they're 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes and 40 seconds on the field longer on average per game for the defense. And the defense, I was trying to find if they had a year that they've given up more than 38 points per game, which is where they're at right now. I went back at least 25 years, and I did. 2017 was 31 points per game.
Yeah, and
That's about the closest.
That was the year before they made the switch, put in a new strength staff, and it made a lot of changes. They went to, they would win like 49-42 a lot of games, but they lost like 56-0 at North Dakota State kind of thing.
Yeah, no, those playoff games were brutal, man.
Yeah, so that was a different era, and they weren't even giving up that many on average.
No, and look, the defense is giving up 314 passing yards per game. A lot of that is on the defensive line and not being able to get a rush. But you sent me a stat today that I had a hard time just believing. Your edge rushers are being asked to just do too much.
Yes, and the defensive tackle position was like that the first game, and it started to even out there, which is good between Dylan Frazier, Cordell Pat, AJ Sargent plays in there a little bit. They've started to divide that up, but your 3 edge rushers, it was Jamar Diaz, Chauncey Cheedy, and Chris Eaton. Their snap totals, I think, were 51, 57, and 55 between the 3 of them. And it's like that for every game. It's anywhere from 40 to 55 snaps apiece for those kind of guys, and that is just not sustainable.
It is not. And listen, they're allowing 48.9% third down conversion, 4 of 5 fourth down, and on the defensive side of the ball, teams have entered the red zone 12 times. They've scored all 12 times, and 9 of those are touchdowns. It's not been good. I don't think you could put the blame in just one area right now.
Right. Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, from missing 35-yard field goals to not getting enough pressure on the D-line to the O-line not holding up to the quarterback play being inconsistent among 3 different guys. I mean, it's literally across the board. But it's not unexpected. This is kind of what we thought would happen with this roster in this season.
It is. And listen, we're about to talk some men's basketball. We're about to get off of this football, thankfully, for a minute. But first, we got to hear about how you can get on that list at Eternal Roofing for some Christmas lights.
Eternal Roofing is locally owned and dedicated to giving back to the community by supporting local organizations and charities. They are also the winner of Next Door's Neighborhood Faves for 2 consecutive years. And as you know, if you've listened to this podcast, Eternal Roofing is your choice for Christmas lights. They provide premium lights tailored to fit your home, season-long maintenance, and hassle-free removal. Kyle Tatum said, "They're very professional and great quality, on time and clean, and really made me feel like they cared for me and my home." Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
All right, big thank you to our friends at Eternal Roofing. And before we get into men's basketball, some signings this week. Ben, tell us what's going on over with the Cat Fund.
Yeah.
Oh, that is not the right person. What in the heck happened?
You look different, Corey. There we go.
Woo!
Yeah. We have I guess the big thing right now is we have our golf tournament casino night and auction for men's basketball coming up October 3rd and 4th. We have team spots available for the golf tournament. We've got a couple sponsorship opportunities for tables at the casino night and auction still available. And our Cat Fund members get a discount. I posted it in the forums a couple weeks ago. If you haven't gotten that, reach out to us, let us know. But you get 15% off golf entries and tickets to casino night and auction. It's going to be a good time. All the proceeds go towards the men's basketball team. And yeah, just a great way to get involved, support the program, and just support these student athletes. Another cool thing too about that weekend with the Cats, with our men's basketball team, is after the golf tournament Saturday morning, we'll head over to the Coliseum, and the team is going to scrimmage. So you'll get to see the team for the first time this year, see what they look like, get to see them scrimmage. So a lot of cool stuff you can get access to as a Cat Fund member.
That was my cut block solo, and I don't know quite how it got into that. Right there, I was probably messing with something earlier that I should not have been, obviously. Hey, when you go to see the men's basketball team this year, there's a couple of new faces, and one of them is Rylan Kelly, a 6'3" guard from Southeastern Prep in Florida. He held offers from Sanford, Abilene Christian, Cleveland State, Youngstown State. The highlight video just didn't quite work. He's got one. It's on the Sports of SHSU page. Ben, what do you know about Rylan Kelly?
Yeah, tapping into Florida, where Sam Houston has had some success. CJ Beaumont most recently coming from Florida, a prep school down there. But Kelly's a 6'3" guard, combo guard, can play the point if needed, can score, very long and athletic, has a great build, had some other offers, and really like what he brings to the table. I really like what Sam Houston is doing at the guard position as a whole. Obviously, Kelly isn't going to be here till next season, but you've got 3 or 4 young guards on this team this year. Jacob Walker, Jacoby Coleman, Justin Begg, who are freshmen and sophomores, and then you add in Kelly. I mean, you've got some guys that I think can contribute right away as young guys, and they're going to be people, if you can hang on to them, they're going to be really good. So a lot of potential with this backcourt right now this year, but also moving forward with the pickup of Rylan Kelly.
If you're a high school basketball player, get out of public school, get you to one of these prep schools, because they tend
That's the trend, yeah.
It is. It just is. And so when it comes to prep school, I have a hard time figuring out what years these guys graduate, because prep schools are a little bit different sometimes. There's another guy. This one's a little bit taller. He's so tall that, the pitcher cut off part of his neck there. Xavier Roberson, 6'7", from Dynamic Prep, held offers from Tarleton and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Benjamin, what do you know about Xavier?
Yeah, so this is another one where kind of connections to the current team. So Xavier played with Jacoby Coleman on Dynamic Prep, which is a prep school up in Dallas. They made it to the national championship game at the Chipotle national championship tournament. This last year, they were both on the team, so it's interesting. You'll reunite them together. A great program that produces a lot of talent, so you feel good about that. 6'7" forward, extremely long, lanky, athletic. Plays more around the basket, but looks like he's a guy with his athleticism that can guard probably all 5 positions. Can handle it a little bit. He's got a decent mid-range jumper, so a guy that I think is going to fit in really well on the defensive side. His offensive game has a little bit of growth to do, but love the program he comes from, love the makeup, love the size. I think it's another really good pickup for next year.
How many national championships are there for high school basketball? Because ESPN shows 3.
This was the one on ESPN, the big one on ESPN.
Well, okay. It's one of those, man, it's hard to keep up with all of them.
So they lost to the Boozer twins, who are at Duke this year. Okay. And, I mean, the other guys on their team at Dynamic Prep were all going Power 4 schools. So, and Jacoby Coleman was, I think, second team all-tournament at the Chipotle tournament. He was a starting point guard for the team. And I know we're talking about this year's roster now, but Coleman was the starting point guard for Dynamic Prep, and they made it to the title game. I think he's got a legit shot to play a lot as a freshman.
Did they get free burritos? That's a wrap for this episode of March to the Pod, presented by Turtle Roofing. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be back next week with more coverage of Bearkat athletics and a preview of the visit to Austin, Texas to take on the Steve Sarkisian Longhorns. Benjamin, take us home.
Eat 'em up, Cats, and let's not get anybody else injured. We need at least one quarterback to play.
Eat those Chipotle burritos.